Hi there, this is Amanda Frankel with our Crafty Play Date, and I am showing you here our August Christmas Club. So I know August seems early to start Christmas cards. We actually started them in July, and you can search back in my YouTube channel. I do have all of the cards for July made now. These are the August cards. In our Christmas Club, we do in-person classes, and we make four each of these three different designs. And you go home with them completed, ready to write out. You've got 12 cards each month. We finish before Thanksgiving, and you have 60 cards for Christmas, and you don't have to worry about it during Christmas. These are the cards we're making this month. You can search for the other videos. They'll be online. If you are interested in a kit, I have them available. You just have to send me an email. Today we are making this card, and it has like a double bonus here. So it is a great Christmas card. It's got the pretty Christmas candles. You could put them in a window ledge. Actually, let me see if I've got it here. It actually is part of this Window Wishes set. And these are the candles that I used here. And you could put them inside a window. It actually has, let's see, I do have it right here. Here are the window dies. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So it's got a window, and you could put the candle sitting in the windowsill and be beautiful. Look like a New England kind of Christmas. But this double bonus is I wanted to use a blue card because I love blue with the snow. So anytime I have snowflakes, I love to use a blue card when possible. This color is called Starry Sky, and it is one of our little hairy thing. It is one of our new in colors. So love it. Super saturated, great color. And it has the double bonus. When you use a silver and a blue together like this, you really could get by with making this a Hanukkah card. So especially Season of Hope and Light works awesome for Hanukkah. Even though these are really Christmas candles and not, a whole menorah of candles, they would get the idea. And let me tell you, a Jewish person you know and love would appreciate these cards because there's really a very limited supply of Jewish cards out there for Jewish holidays. I know that sounds crazy, but if you're Jewish, you often receive 3 or 4 of the exact same card when people are sending out their cards. So it's nice to have something a little different. So this could work as a Hanukkah card, but it's obviously a Christmas card. So double bonus, if you need some in your stash, this is a good idea. Let's get started. All right, so I promised that it is Starry Sky, and we are just going to use a card base in Starry Sky. Now, a card base, when I say a card base, I am talking about half of an 8.5 by 11. So it's just cut in half, and ta-da, there it is. This card is so easy, by the way. So easy. The paper here that we're using, it's vellum. It's our super thick vellum. It is called Snowflake Specialty. And it's not even really silver. If you look carefully, it's really iridescent. So that's kind of fun for the snowflakes. There are 2 different snowflake patterns and then this like snowfall pattern. And then also in the same pack are these flocked sheets. So it's got snowflakes flocks, and then there are 2 different kinds of snowflakes. The same patterns that you have in the iridescent, you have in the flocked, so you can feel it. So it's kind of a crazy Braille card there. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you about cutting it. So this strip that I'm using here is 1 inch by 5 inches, and the reason that works so well with the 12 by 12 piece of paper is I'm going to show you, and I'm going to use a flocked one so that it doesn't make your eyes go buggy. So hold on. All right, so if I had this 12 by 12 piece of paper and I needed to cut it into strips like this that are 1 by 5, I would cut 2 inches off the top. So now it is 12 inches by 10 inches. Okay, just stick with me here. Now I'm going to take this 10 inches and I'm going to cut it in half. So now it's 12 inches by 5 inches and 12 inches by 5 inches. So I have 2 sections of 12 inches by 5 inches and 1 section of 12 inches by 2 inches. Stay with me here. I promise it's going to be worth it. This 12 by 5 strip, I'm going to cut into 1 inch strips. I'm going to get 12. Then I'm going to do the same thing with this section that's 12 inches by 5 inches. I'm going to cut it in 1 inch strips, and I'm going to get 12. So now I've got 12, 24 of these so far. And then I've still got this 2-inch strip like this. I'm going to cut it in 5 and 5. And now I've got 2 inches by 5 inches and 2 inches by 5 inches. And then I have this little 2-inch square here. These right here, I'm going to cut into 1 inches and 1 inch each. And so I get 4 more. So 12, 24, and 4 more is 28. And all you have left over is a little tiny 2-inch square. The reason that's important is, 1, you don't want to waste paper. 2, think about all the cards you can make. You've got now 28 of these with a pack of this and a pack of this in 12 by 12. I'll explain that too. You are golden and ready to go. All right, so the reason that you would want this in 12 by 12 is it is 3 by 4, and I've talked about this in a couple other videos. 3 by 4 is perfect to cut out of a 12 by 12 piece of paper. So when you're thinking about ordering your white, you need 2 different sizes. You want the 12 by 12 for a panel like this, and then you want the regular 8.5 by 11 to put on your inside panel in here, because you get 4 out of each piece. So with those packs, you're really, really ready to go. Okay, and very little waste, by the way, which always makes me very happy. So let's go ahead and make this card. So I've done that already. And I have a strip laying around of my vellum. Here we go. Now, this vellum is really thick. So generally speaking, when you have vellum, your adhesive shows. And even if you get special adhesive for vellum, it's still going to show. So what I like to do, I know that it's going to be hidden here. So I'm just going to run with a tape runner, not liquid glue. I'm just going to run with a tape runner kind of right down that edge. I need a mess here. That's going to stick to everything. Okay, so it's right down this edge only. I aimed badly. I aimed badly, everyone. Okay. Ooh, twice badly. Okay. I love that you love me. It's only right here, the adhesive, and that's okay because that's where I wanted it actually. I just didn't want it all over my grid paper. But my grid paper actually protected my table. See that? So that's going to be sticky, but there you go. Okay, so this is going to stay down. Even though it's not adhered around here, it does not matter. It's going to stay down. And now I just need to make my panel. All right, so my panel here, as I said, is 3 by 4. 3 by 4, super easy peasy to do. The first thing that I am going to do is stamp with Starry Sky also. It coordinates with the paper, which is nice. You only really need 1 color of ink for this card. But you know, you could do it in red with a piece of maybe this kind of designer series paper from that pack, and stamp the candles in red, and it would be pretty. Okay, so anyway, Season of Hope and Light. I'm going to do like 1 fat thumb from the bottom here. And why I'm doing that is to not crowd my bow and my candle. If I do it too high, then it causes a little bit of trouble. So I'm going to set that aside. That's done. As far as the candles, I am nothing if not lazy. So some people say efficient, but often I say lazy. So when I sit down, I like to cut out a whole bunch of these guys. So that is the candles dies from that Window Wishes die set that I showed you. That's the candles. So I just cut them out of white, and I just cut. I don't want to have to stamp my image and then take it over to my cutting machine and try and center my die over it, and maybe put a piece of washi tape or Post-it or something so it won't slide around when I run it through. And then I run it through and it's shifted and I have to do it again. So I just cut a bunch of them in white, and then I cut a bunch out of a piece of scrap paper and I put it in my Stamparatus. So this is my Stamparatus. I'm going to slide that out of the way. This is my Stamparatus, and I've got, as you see, a piece of paper in there, and I've stamped it so I can see where it's going to go. To place this, I'm just going to take my stamp and put it upside down where I die cut a thing out of, one of the candles. I just put my stamp inside there, close this, it picks it up, and now it's ready to go. Now all I have to do is put my candles back in there that I already cut, ink it up. If you get a ton of ink all over this, like I just did here, don't worry about it. It's not going to touch. And the beauty about using a Stamparatus, if I were to do this and get a really horrible image, like maybe I didn't ink it well, or I was talking to my friend and put my thumb on it and have a big thumbprint, that's okay, because you can just slip it right back in there and stamp it again if you'd like to. So I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to do that just so you can see what I'm talking about. So if I put my image that I stamped already right back in there in exactly the same space, and I made pretty much a little puzzle piece out of it. I really did. Okay, so now I put it back in there and I'm going to stamp again. And there you go. And it's very dark right now because I stamped it twice, but it's in the same place and it's going to lighten up as it dries. I promise. Now this dirty thing I'm going to put out of the way so I don't put my hand in it. But that is the easiest way to use your Stamparatus and your small dies so you don't end up with a big headache. Okay, so we also need to tie a bow. So I am using this fabulous ribbon, and I will list all the things that I use in the catalog. This is a bow maker. My customer's husband made these for me, and I do have them for sale. So if you want to send me a note, I charge you what he charged me, so I'm not making a profit on them. I'm just getting them out there so that everybody's got them. Here you go. I'm going to make a knot. The beautiful thing about the bow maker is it always makes a perfect bow. So I guess that's why it gets to be called that. Okay. And I am going to take 2 small, not those humongous that I just got, pieces of tape. And I'm going to tape. Now, I always do this right before I cut it off because then I know how big to cut it so that I don't end up wasting a lot of ribbon. If you cut your ribbon off and then try to tie it, first of all, you will cut it the wrong size. You'll either make it too big and you'll have a lot of waste, or you will make it too small and you will make yourself crazy trying to make it work. So if you just leave it on the spool, I have no waste here, right? And did you hear that? It hit the floor. It hit the floor and rolled. Awesome. Awesome. That's something to do later. Okay, so there's my little bow. So that's set. And now I just need to finish up my candles. So one of the other dies that is in that same set, here's the candle die, by the way. I'll show you. That's what I used to cut out all those little white candles. And this that looks like a little crown, this is actually your flames. So there's a stamp that will stamp the flames, but I didn't want to stamp it. I just cut it out of silver glimmer paper. So it looks like a little crown. See that? It looks like a little crown. And I just, here was my trick. This is my trick. So it just peeks out over your candles like that. What I did was I put a tiny, tiny piece of Scotch tape here. And really, well, that's not tiny. Okay. I'm having a problem here, identity problem with tiny, but okay. So it's sticking to me. All right, so I have got my tiny, tiny piece of tape here, and it didn't show when I did it before because I used a tiny piece, not a humongous piece like that. Oh, geez. See what I've done here? All right, there we go. All right, so the thing about it is it's really just holding those flames in place right now, but if I were to put it on my card, they kind of flop backwards. So the trick is all in the dimensional placement. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to take our dimensionals and we are going to put a large dimensional behind the middle candle. And that is actually securing it. It's hidden, right? You can't see it up there. It's hidden, but it keeps our flames from flopping. Nobody likes floppy flames. That's really hard to say, by the way. Now I'm going to take 2 little baby dimensionals and stick them on here just so it doesn't get saggy all over. All right. Well, 2.5 because that half just came off. Twinsies. All right, hold on 1 second here. Take off the paper. If you're ever having trouble getting these papers off, you can use scissors or something to lift it. That's fine. Or you can just poke it in the middle and it pops off. Okay, and I'm going to put that on there. A little crooked. Okay, and now here is a good trick also. When you are going to put your dimensionals on this, because this is on dimensionals on this panel is on top of this card, I'm going to do 5. So, or no, normally I would do 5. Normally you don't want a saggy bottom, so I would put one in the middle. But on this card, if you put one in the middle, you're really kind of putting it right behind the knot or these dimensionals, and it stacks your card too tall. So when you go to mail it, it might be extra postage, or they probably would let it slide because it's not hard. It will mush down, but you don't want it to get too mushed. So, all right, and we'll peel these off. All right, so I'm not going to do it today, but I would put also a white panel inside the middle. I don't put them on before I teach a class so that people, when they're looking at the card as a sample, they know that this one's mine. Theirs is going to have a panel inside that they'll glue in. But that way I get a card back as my sample. So there you go. That is all she wrote for that card. It's super easy, and you have some good cutting tips. When you order a pack of this paper, it comes in a pack of 24. So you would get 48 cards out of this. Really, one pack of this, one pack of that, 12 by 12, and 8.5 by 11 in white, and you could make a whole boatload of these cards. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the card. If you would like to order a kit that would include enough to make 4 of these and these things, and everything is already die cut, your bows are tied, all you need are the stamps and the ink, be sure that you let me know. And this is, again, the August of 22 Christmas Club. Make sure that you let me know that, and I will get this out to you. Thanks so much for stopping by. Have a great day. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator of your own, I would love to be yours. Be sure to click subscribe, and if you hit the little bell, you'll get a notice every time I create another one of these little mini masterpiece videos. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.